How's everybody doing today? We're happy
Oh, we
to
got a big shadow back there. It's
be.
like
That's all right.
a... Okay, we're getting all set up here in our new place. We're in Vietnam in our hotel room. I know, it doesn't look like we're in a hotel room because you can see a nice couch back here. It's a really nice room that they gave us, upgraded from our standard room that we had booked. That's kind of cool. So yeah, we're excited to have this nice area back here. It's like a chaise. See that on this side? And then couch here. It actually turns into a bed. The bottom slides out and pops up, and then it's actually a room for 3 people.
Yeah. So welcome everybody. Glad to have you here with us. We are super excited to be coming to you live from Vietnam.
Yeah. So we've got lots to chat about. We already, I think, have some questions in the chat. I think I saw Kevin bought the backpack that I use. Yay. I hope it works out really well for you because, you know, it's pretty good for me. I enjoy it. And it's easy to, you know, take.
Yeah, we're just getting set up here. We've got this new setup in this hotel, and we're just figuring out the internet and all that because we just got in late last night.
Yeah.
We had a really good flight though from Bangkok, Thailand, and it was one of the most stress-free travel days we've had in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually really quite good. It was so simple. We had lounge access at the airport in Bangkok, so we could kind of relax and have a few snacks before we got on the flight. And then we got on the flight, and the section that we were sitting in, we were the only people sitting in the front part of the plane. So there wasn't anybody sitting around us for like 4 or 5 rows or something. So that was really funny. And then it was a nice smooth flight. We were only in the air for like an hour and 20 minutes. It's not very far from Bangkok to North Vietnam. And then what did we do? Oh, then we got here and we got a fast track service. If you never use the app Klook, Klook, when you travel, you should definitely consider using it. They have lots of cool services on there. But the one that we got the fast track, so he got us through. He takes us basically, he met us off the plane with a little sign with our name on it and walked us through the fast track, through immigration and get our bags and then out to meet our driver who was ready for us.
Yeah. So yes, we are in Vietnam now, and it is going really well. So welcome everybody. The one thing I'll say though is it's very cold here. So
Yes,
all of you that were telling us about how cold it was back home, it is 52 degrees here.
It's not as cold as it is for you guys, but it is cold for here because we went from, what was the temperature in Thailand?
90.
Yeah.
90 down to 52.
And we're wearing jackets here. I mean, not like big parkas or anything like that, but we're wearing some jackets and socks and sneakers instead of sandals and flip-flops.
So we're going to jump into some of these items that we have here. But if you have questions, go ahead and leave them in the chat for us. We're going to get to those real quick here also. And then reminder, right after this chat, again this week, we're going to be going over to Grounded Life Finances live stream in 30 minutes. And the link to that one is in the description. So let's jump in here. Just really happy to see everybody. It's really nice to see, like, we felt kind of discombobulated here because it's a brand new city, and so seeing all of you on here in the chat really makes us feel like we're back, like we're back, like it's normal. Yeah. So it's normal. So thank you for all logging on there. It's really great to see that. Let's go over the first item real quick that is an essential for Amtrak.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people are logging in, they're going to take their first trip. This is a must-have.
Okay, you have got to have a portable adapter with you. Now, it doesn't make a huge difference, the adapter part, as far as the train, but it has which side is it on these? It has the USB on here. This one is, I'm using my main one, my real one that I have linked in the description. I'm using it charging some things over in the corner, so I won't show you that one, but it actually has 4 USBs, so you can charge 4 things there and then 1 thing on the front. So you can actually charge 5 things on the one that I'm suggesting. This one is our backup one. You can only charge 3 things on it at once. But if you're like us and you got a couple of phones and camera batteries and all that kind of stuff, a Kindle, a tablet, all that, you're gonna want to have the other adapter, because you could charge 5 things at once, which is gonna be really nice.
Let's jump into a couple questions here.
Okay, let's go.
And hey, brown eyed girl, happy to have you here. Yes, her backpack is small enough to be carried on for a flight. Both of ours are.
Yes.
Actually.
Yeah. I know yours. Some people have asked before
Mine's
if
huge.
that's it. It looks huge, but it actually fits perfectly in the overhead compartment.
Yeah, we didn't move to Vietnam, but we are here for a while. So
We physically switched places. We always say moved, but it's not really a move.
We're in Vietnam.
Not a real move.
Some people were asking in the chat. We're in Vietnam
Yes,
now, but we're not. We haven't like.
We just say moved over. I guess we should have said over.
Yeah. Here's a good one I've never heard before. How do you manage your hair care when traveling?
Oh my goodness. Listen, it's a pretty big deal. Because one thing that I have found is that you do get a lot of damage in places where there's like the water, like hard water, and they don't have like a filter and stuff on there. So sometimes that can be challenging, but I do carry some things with me. I've started bringing less and less, because I can usually find products in I think in pretty much all of the countries. I'm trying to think of which ones I couldn't find them in, but I had stuff with me. But either bring, like, depending on how long you're going to go for, bring something with you, or and actually, I don't think I've ever washed my hair on the train, but I have obviously for traveling like I am now, but I don't think I've ever washed my hair on the train, just because it's only like 1 or 2 nights and I don't wash my hair every day. Well, I can't.
I have in that Amtrak shower.
Yeah, of course you've washed your hair.
Let's see. Anne Marie is asking, she's going on the Pacific Surfliner. Noticed it's facing backwards in business class. Do they have seats that sit in the forward position? She's prone to motion sickness.
I am too. And that is the problem that I have also, is not being able to sit in the direction of travel. But they do have, some of the seats are facing the direction of travel. So I can't remember. I don't think did we have assigned seats on there? Do you remember?
We did not. No,
Okay.
I don't think.
All right. So yeah, when we got on, I feel like there were a lot of empty seats, and some of them were facing, there were varying arrangements. Some of them were like in a little table setting, like 4 facing each other, which is actually, there were 3 of us traveling. So we just picked one of those little pods, and then I just made sure that I was sitting in the direction of travel. And sometimes they can flip those chairs around. So ask somebody, if you don't find one that's facing the right way, ask them, because on some of the trains, there's a little switch on the ground or close to the bottom of the chairs, and they can actually flip the whole thing around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was on the Cascades. They flipped it for you.
Yes,
which was really
very
great.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes. So yes, Lions T-shirt is coming out tomorrow. Thank you for asking.
Hopefully.
We've been going through this whole football thing here now for months.
Together.
This has been a journey, and we're still not done, thankfully. Hopefully we're going to get this done. So, hey, hello from Poland. That's the first time we've had someone from Poland on the chat.
That's so cool.
And Texas, yes. So
Texas. We were just talking about Texas, but not the state. There's a restaurant, a steakhouse here in town in Vietnam called Texas.
Yeah, steakhouse near Texas.
We were just talking about that a few hours ago. Because
Yeah.
we said, we should go have dinner there sometime, because it was called Texas.
Where did I get my glasses at? That's like the 3rd time I've been asked that. And
yes,
it's
and these
funny.
are actually your reading glasses.
It's funny because one time we were walking on a cruise ship, and I was walking with our daughter, Alexa, and there was like three teenage girls, and they stopped us and they're like, "Sir, where did you get your glasses?" And so I'm pretty sure that they were like daring each other to say that to the next person that walked by. But it was pretty funny because Alexa was with us, and then she was like dying laughing at it. So that was one time. Then someone else asked me for real, and then this time. So yeah, where did we
I
get
think this
these?
person is not
Yeah.
mocking you. I
No.
think they're asking you
Where
for
did we
real.
get them for real?
We order them from Zenni Optical, Zenni, and they're a super deal. I think we only pay for the frames. I want to say they're like $15.95 for the frames, and then they do the actual lenses. And we have the blue blocker, the polarizer thing, and where they don't get scratched up. I can't remember what all the things are called, but they'll walk you through and tell you what those things are. Anyways, end of the day, we ended up paying, I think, like $35 for the whole thing. So that's a pretty
Yeah.
good deal.
Let's see. Trina's asking Wi-Fi on the train. Any suggestions about that?
It's really spotty because the thing is that they use the cell towers and they are in a lot of places where there isn't good service. So even if you're using like your phone as a hotspot, it still might be challenging in a few spots. So you're not going to be doing like any kind of streaming or like Zoom calls or anything like that. So just go ahead and download stuff beforehand, and you can be like online, but the Wi-Fi itself is not fast when it is available on some of the trains, especially like in the Northeast Corridor area. And then it's just not fast and it's not super duper reliable. So I would either use your phone for a hotspot or just, yeah.
Yeah. So let's do the second
Oh,
must-have item.
okay, and I'm actually using it right now to keep my phone charged. And it is a portable charger. I'm going to take it out of this little case. I always keep it in here because I don't like it to get bumped. But this one is awesome. As you can see, it shows you, let's see, it shows you what is left on the charge. And you can actually charge three things at once. 1, 2, 3. There's 2 USBs, and this one here is a USB-C. So you can charge 3 things at once on it, and it'll charge 2 phones like completely from dead to completely full. I think like 13 hours or something like that worth of charge. So that is really awesome, that portable charger. It's in the description as well. But that is actually the best because, as a matter of fact, one train ride where this actually saved our tails is we were riding from a train from Paris, a sleeper train from Paris to Toulouse, and there were zero electrical outlets in the room. The room was so cool. If you haven't seen that video, it is here on the channel. The room was really cool. It was 4 beds, but we had the whole thing to ourselves. We paid like a small upcharge to have the whole thing to ourselves. But the one bad thing was they didn't have any electrical outlets at all, which was really crazy. And thankfully, I always have this little guy with me because it was super helpful. We were able to keep our phones charged because our tickets for the next day were on our phones. So if they were dead, we were going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and I think that the other reason that this one is important is because a lot of times on Amtrak, if you're in a roomette, there's only going to be one socket. But the problem is we've been in a lot of them where the socket is loose. And that's where this one comes in, because sometimes you can't even plug that one in, because like you just try to plug it in and it just like falls out.
Yeah, if you get like an older
If you
one
get
or
an
something.
If you get an old car.
Yeah, it's been used one too many
So
times.
it is possible. We've had it happen once where we got on the train and the one outlet in our roomette, you couldn't use it. So we had no way of charging anything. So that one saved us.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Let's see here. We've got, when is the best time to bid on a bedroom from a roomette? I don't think it really matters too much when you're going to bid.
Because I think they ultimately make the decision at the same time, which is basically like at the very end, because they want to make sure if they can get the full price for it, they'll get the full price for it. So they try to give themselves as much opportunity to actually sell the room. And then if they don't, then that's when they pick whoever's bid obviously the highest, and then, they'll give it to them. So
Yeah.
you oftentimes won't find out until like right before you get on the train.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about your third item. Did you bring it over here?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Right here.
So this is for
I actually
your.
have a few of these left. A couple of these are a little bit smashed because I actually have had these since I left the US in June. And these are my ginger chews. I can't remember who it was. I think Anne Marie was asking earlier about, was talking about motion sickness. I do get motion sickness. If I do struggle with it from time to time, these are what I use, and they work really well. It's better than taking like Dramamine or something like that. It's just a little ginger chew, and it's got, it just really helps to, I think, just settle, I don't know, the acid in my stomach or whatever. I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but that's how it feels anyways to me. But these ginger chews are really awesome. I'm hanging on to the last few, like if I don't need them, I'm not using them so that I can have some in case I have a situation where I'm like, oh, I gotta have one.
Anne Marie's asking, does sitting the opposite way cause you motion sickness?
It does, yeah. If I'm sitting away from the direction of travel, I definitely get sick every single time, which is why when I was in business class on the Cascades, I was like, all the seats were facing the wrong way, and the conductor came back there. I was like, are the seats gonna stay like this the whole time? He was like, yeah. I said, I get really sick. Is there any place else I could sit? He was like, oh, no problem. He said, I got you. Come here. He said, come on out of the seats. And then he put his foot on the thing and flipped it. And then I was all set.
Live from Philly is taking the Texas Eagle in April. And remembers us saying they don't have traditional dining the entire ride. Yeah, they do not. You will not have traditional from Chicago to Texas. If I'm remembering correctly.
Yes, so you'll have it for the rest of the ride.
You'll have it from Texas to California, but not halfway. Yeah, it kind of stinks because
it does stink.
It's not actually that bad because you'll have it for a few nights, and sometimes if we're doing like 3 trips in a row, sometimes traditional dining, like if we've had it 9 nights out of 12, the flexible is okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, for just a single ride, the traditional is much better. So it's just because the train split in Texas, and the Sunset Limited keeps the dining car, and the Texas Eagle loses the dining car. So that is why you don't get to do that. David's saying the first night sleeping on the train was the worst. Jolted awake all night. Wish he had taken pills. Yeah,
bummer.
that can be surprising. It was kind of our very first night. I remember sleeping on the train. It was kind of surprising.
Yeah, we were like, is it gonna rock like this the whole night? I felt like, But
Yeah.
I think after that, you kind of start to get your train legs, and I think your body kind of starts to balance for it a little bit better.
Yeah.
So hopefully that would be the case if you were on there for more than one night.
Donna's asking about this is an interesting question. Nobody's ever asked her this. The checkerboard, because the Amtrak tables, when you pull them up and you set it up, they have like checkerboard, chess pieces, checker chess. We've never brought any.
No, and actually somebody said that they used to actually have the pieces on the train. They don't do that anymore, but they used to have the actual game pieces. You would ask, the car attendant, and they would get them for you, but I guess now you just have to bring your own.
Yeah.
They're probably hard to keep track of. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They probably started losing like 1 or 2 pieces.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing was shot. You can't play with missing 2
It's such
pieces.
a pain.
Now on the Canadian, they do have board games.
They do.
So
Yeah.
in Canada, apparently they keep track of their pieces better than we do. But they do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Any bed bug occurrences on the Amtrak sleeper cars?
We haven't heard anything about that. Never heard any issues on that before. And we personally have never had any problems with that before, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah, question about running into other YouTubers. We've never run into any other
We
YouTubers on the
haven't.
train. We've
Yeah,
actually never done that. We have run into tons of YouTubers on cruises.
we do.
Like when we're on a cruise, there's always YouTubers on there, and
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty easy to see who's who's doing it. So usually they say hi or we say hi. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Uh, what is the travel collapsible bag that you use?
The oh,
It's the
yes, yes. Oh my goodness, that thing is awesome. That's actually
it's
what we
the
use for our
Columbia.
overnight bag. It's a Columbia brand, the one that we have. And they do sell several different sizes. They have one that's like a backpack, but the one that we use is actually, I think, the better size because we could fit both of our toiletry bags in there and change of clothes and pajamas plus our flip-flops.
Yeah. Let's see. Brenda Girl says they keep their pieces because they need the games in the winter.
That makes sense.
That does make sense.
Gotta have something to do in the winter.
Simon has a good question here.
Okay.
They're going to be using the accessible room, traveling with their daughter. Is she allowed to check out the whole train, like walk from one end to the other?
Oh yes, absolutely. She's free to roam. She can go to the dining car if she wants, to the observation car if there's going to be one on the train that you're on, or just walk around. Sometimes we just walk around just for the steps because you get tired of just sitting in your room, especially if it's a longer ride. You want to be able to stretch your legs out if you're not going to be getting off a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
One time
Um,
we were messing around with our room attendant, and she told me that she'd bring me an extra dessert if I could get 2,000 steps in on the train. So I had to walk from one end to the other like 10 times. So yeah, you can go all the way from one end to the other. I did it 10 times one time. I did. I think I did get the 2,000
You did.
steps.
She
I
brought
did.
you.
Yeah.
He had to show her his watch
Yeah,
that he
I
had
had to
hit
show
his
my
step
watch.
count, and then she brought him an extra dessert.
So yeah, you can definitely, and you should probably walk around because it.
You should.
Yeah, and then use at the fresh air breaks. You can check out too.
Definitely. Yeah. Actually, I've seen people bring like a jump rope. I saw one time somebody was doing jump rope at the fresh air breaks, and then of course some people walk around. I think in a video we did, you were running, but I'm not sure you were really
Yeah.
running.
I wasn't.
I think you were just walking fast.
Portia's asking how the ride is on the Southwest Chief and the Lakeshore Limited. Now the thing is, for us, like we don't notice. I think she's asking if it's bumpy.
Oh, a bump. Okay.
We really don't notice the difference because we both sleep pretty well. So I wonder if anybody on here can answer that better than us because we tend to think they're all the
Yeah.
same, but there are people who think some are definitely
Yeah.
smoother than others.
No, if we're talking between those two, I feel like the Southwest Chief is a little bit more rocky than maybe the Lakeshore Limited. Just because I think of the difference in terrain and stuff that the train is traveling over, maybe. Or maybe just the tracks are, more
Yeah.
kind of worn out or used or whatever over there.
Our Michael's asking security in the roomette. Do they need to bring their laptop with them every time they leave?
We've never had a problem or seen or heard of a problem on the train as far as that's concerned. If you're in the roomettes, if you're in coach, we always tell people 100% bring a bag that you're going to have your valuables with you every time you leave your seat. Go to the bathroom, the dining car, the whatever you're doing, bring your stuff with you. But if you're in a roomette, even though sometimes we tell people too, that door will slide open sometimes, even if you're not in the room, that door will slide open sometimes just because of that rocking on the train. But just always pull the curtain shut. We've never seen a problem with that before, so
Yeah.
you should be fine.
I wouldn't leave it sitting on the seat.
No, well, it could also fall off too, so I wouldn't leave
Yeah.
it like unsecured in your room.
Yeah, exactly. Shelly from Michigan. All right, go Michigan, go Lions. 2 more games, hopefully. Thank you. We gotta do a little speed round here because we got
Oh,
3
yeah.
more minutes, and then
I
we're
didn't
gonna hop
realize
over.
the time went by so fast.
Time flew by. We're gonna hop on the Ground Life Finances channel right after this. Did want to mention everything we mentioned. There's links in the description. to everything. So,
Uh-huh.
and stuff that maybe you didn't ask about. So,
And anything else that you have questions to, we do have our website, groundedlifetravel.com. You can always use, click that little magnifying lens looking thing, search thing, and you can search on our website for all kinds of stuff. We've written articles about tons of stuff about Amtrak. So if you don't see the answer in one of our videos, you can always go check our website, just groundedlifetravel.com.
yeah, let's do some quick ones here.
Okay,
So,
here we go.
let's see. Sunset Limited arrives in New Orleans after midnight. Are there any taxis available at the station? Yeah, there's taxis in New
Yes.
Orleans.
Yeah, they're always sitting out there.
Yeah, tons of them.
Shouldn't be a problem. We've
let's
actually
see.
gotten them before there.
Difference between packing for coach and a roomette.
The only difference is you'll want to have like your toiletries and pajamas and like your flip-flops and stuff like that if you're going to be in a roomette. And actually, you might want some of those things really in coach, so maybe not too much of a difference between
Yeah,
the two.
we generally
Yeah.
pack the same.
Yeah.
Chris, your trip sounds awesome. I would. He's asking about a long trip.
Okay.
Is it too long for the first one though? Since you live in Sacramento, you could do a short one. Just go to LA and back, and then do that, get it under your belt, and then make adjustments from there. Let's see. Because you go so often, do you get to know the attendants well? See the same ones? We do. We see see them on our train. We see them. We've actually seen them like on a passing train and said hi to them.
When we were stopped, like 2 trains stopped at one station, and we're like, "Oh, hey," and then we just kind of chat with them and stuff. So that's pretty fun. Yeah. There are some really great attendants. We've had lots of really good ones.
You can order Uber Eats. I've seen people order pizzas, but there's very few stops on a train ride that's long enough. Like you would need an hour probably, and hopefully you're not late. Let's see. Someone was asking, and I lost the question, but they were getting 3 connections, and they were worried about missing them. Check your connections because the trains are notoriously late. I don't remember which ones you were going to be on, but this is not like being in Switzerland where the trains are going to show up on time. They're generally going to be pretty late. So Joe wants you to say hello in Vietnamese.
Hello in Vietnamese, xin chào.
We have learned that much so far.
We got that much going.
So thank you, everybody. I think we do need to log off here. We're going to log back on in like 2-3 minutes on Grounded Life Finances. So you can ask more questions over there about trains, finances, anything about it. So hop on that. Links in the description, and we will see you in 2 or 3 minutes.